Hey guys, so today we're going over the final piece of the course, which is the type of entrepreneur that you could be, or the type of financial manager that you could be when you're starting out. And what I mean by that is you have all this knowledge that we had, in terms of strategies, the way you look at finances, all these kind of things, but it all comes down to how do you actually use it and how do you operate, okay? And in my view, there's two different types of operators. They're the hustlers, everybody knows these type of people, and then there's something that I call buffsters. Okay, now let's go into both of these so you have an understanding of a little bit what the differences are. And typically, what I would say is that the hustlers are usually the types that are always looking at cash flow, where is cash moving, where is cash coming in. These are typically the type of people when you say, hey, listen, I've finished my work, can you pay me my invoice? These are usually the type of people that say, sorry, I don't have the cash right now, I need to find it somewhere, right? But I'll pay the invoice, don't worry about it. So, they're always looking and they're always managing their money, and they're always managing it from a cash flow perspective, not from a profit and loss perspective or something else. It's all about, okay, yes, I have these reports, I don't really care about them. What I care about is like how much money is in my pocket, how much money is going out, and that's why they're hustling, right? Because they're like, oh shit, I got this new invoice, I need to find money now, and then they're going selling something, and then they get that money, and then they're packing there. So they're kind of like, it looks like they're plugging holes all the time. But most actual small business type of owners, this is the way that they do business, because this is the essence of trade. This is how we used to trade for thousands of years. It's very direct. It's very, exchanging hands and these kind of things. And the corporate world is not actually natural for us. We've been educated to work in this type of way. So we've been schooled, educated, and for most people, it's not that natural. So most people start out in a way that they're, mixing up. Sometimes they're also even mixing up their own money with the company's money, which is not great. But you see these things happen all the time. And that is the mindset behind these type of people. Then you have what I call the buffsters. These are the very pragmatic type of people. You could think of a traditional German, I would say, is a buffster. So they like to keep debt low. They like to keep the company running high. They like to keep a certain amount of profit in the company so that they have buffers so that they can pay for things in the future. They might even have separate buckets or separate bank accounts for specific things. So like if they're for all the money that's coming in, they're setting aside already straight away the proportion that's meant for tax, the proportion that's meant for employees, all of these kind of things, right? So they compartmentalize their cash flow once it comes in, and they feel sound because they've managed everything so that everything is in order. You don't need to think about anything about like where money is going to come from. The revenue and the cash flow has been managed already up front, and then you can think about the future and think about maybe longer term in years ahead of like what are the things that you need to do. So another good way of looking at it is at this table, which is like the differences in mindset when it comes to actually managing money, right? So some comparisons, like normal, simple comparisons, right? The mindset behind it. For hustlers, it's like money sitting in the bank account is not money moving, it's not making more money for me. Whereas for the buffster, it's gonna be money is the infrastructure that keeps the business going. And so that's a very different fundamental mindset for these type of people, right? And that gives you all of these different qualities that you have on the way that you can work with business. So with hustlers, they're always optimistic that tomorrow is going to be better than today. Whereas for buffsters, they understand, okay, there's cycles, there's seasonalities, there's these kind of things. So you need to keep all the time something in reserve, something in reserve, something in reserve, because you're going to have, you're going to run into a rough time at some point for sure. Then if you think about the time horizon that they work, hustlers work with days, weeks. Buffsters work with at least months, if not years, right? Then if we're thinking about risk tolerance, for hustlers it's very high, so they don't really care about much stuff. And for buffsters it's very low, like they don't like to take risk and these kind of things. So again, it's Very simple. Like one is very pragmatic, the other one is a little bit chaotic. It's not necessarily that it's a bad thing, right? But because what the hustlers have is speed, and they make decisions very, very quickly. Okay, so but the on the flip side, if you want to have speed, you need to make quick decisions. Whereas on the other side, if you're waiting for a technology to be adopted by 80% of the market and you're only starting to implement it once everybody's there, you kind of lost the edge, right? So it's not that one is better than the other. It's just that keep in mind that there's benefits to one type of thinking and there's benefits to the other type of thinking. And my suggestion for all of you out there would be when you're starting out, you really need to be a hustler. But as you start growing, you need to start thinking about being a buffster because that is where all the big players play. Okay? The big players, they don't play with, I need to plug a hole here, there, so on and so forth. The big players, they think about, okay, how can I keep my business safe and sound for the next 20, 30, 40 years? And that's also, by the way, why you see all these top corporations or big corporations that they're still working with very old-fashioned tech processes and strategies because they've it's like a tanker. It's going by its inertia, right? So that's how these things work, and that's why the incumbents that come up with very quick cycles and they're hustling their way through, they're just much quicker and they can grow much quicker and eat the incumbents, right? So keep that in mind. You need to go from switch to one to the other. Both extremes are not good, but use them to your advantage. And just know where you're at when you're looking at the strategies that we provided during this course. And we hope you enjoy it. We hope you like it, and see you soon. So thanks for watching. I hope you like this type of content and that this course was very helpful for you. If you want to work through these things live together with me, you have a possibility to do that. Just go to school.smoothen.ai. Book an intro call and we'll work it out. Either you go through a workshop scenario where it's a group setting, or we can do a one-on-one if you want to go into really the details of your specific business, and we can build this whole plan for you together. And so you don't have to think about these things and you don't have to think about how to implement it. We actually show you how it works, do everything for you together, and then you get all the benefits of actually implementing these strategies and looking at cash flow the way that you should be. Okay? So catch you in the next one. Please like, subscribe, and share the video with anybody else that you know that might benefit from this type of information. See ya.